to Partners and Crime. My name is Poppy.
And my name is Roger.
So I don't know, that's fine. Every week we sit here and I tell Roger about a true crime case that he has never heard of, ever.
No, never heard of.
No. It's not your cup of tea, is it?
No, not really, no. Not at all. I like...
Not the death side of it all. Or the,
just...
the murdery side of it all. You don't really like that bit.
Murdery deathness, no. It's sad and dumb.
Dumb?
Huh?
Did you say dumb?
No, I said and So I almost said, yeah,
sad
kind of. But
and dumb.
Sad and dumb. No, it's just a bit horrible sometimes, but
anyway,
it's interesting. So, just dropping in while I'm editing. I realised this video was quite long, so we're going to break it into 2 parts, and this is part 1. Now let's get back to the video.
So this week is another shocking case, but it is also a current case, and you might have, not you guys might have heard of it, and we're finally dipping our toe in the American true crime pool.
We're crossing
We're
the
dipping.
pond.
Yeah, we're going over there.
Yeah.
I always find like American cases are a lot crazier than like the UK ones. I don't know what's going on over there.
I was about to say why, but okay. We don't know.
It's just like mental over there.
I guess.
Not to generalise.
No, I think it's probably more just that. I mean, the population over there is
wild.
Is 3x the UK, and a bit more. I mean, there's like 300 million people in the US alone, and then
How many is there in the UK?
about 70 million, 60, 70 million. I better mute that. So, yeah, there's 300 million people in America, and there's only like 60 odd million here. So obviously there's I guess there's 3 times more opportunity for people to do something a bit mad. And then, if you just think about the landscape of America, it's so sparse in some places, unpopulated. There's just a lot more opportunity for things to go wrong when you think about it.
True.
Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Geography lesson.
Yeah.
So like I said, this is currently happening. So it's the 14th of July today. So anything like more information that might come out after today, obviously it won't be included in this video. And just for a heads up, we have a lot of like footage in this episode. So just let us know like what you think of this format, whether you prefer it over to me just kind of like explaining the footage or whatever. But yeah, there's just like, we're basically just going to be watching videos and then just talking about them.
And I'm going to be making notes.
We're just going to be making notes, and then so we can discuss it after like each clip, stuff like that. That's what we think is going on. And just a trigger warning, there is talk of domestic abuse. So if that's something you don't want to see or hear about, then like just click off this video because it's rampant. Basically. Don't know if that's the right word, really.
Like just all the way through it.
It's
what the case is about.
It's basically what it's all about. So it's just, this isn't the video for you. So let's start from the beginning. In Orange County in Florida, a woman called Sarah Boone, who's 42, and her boyfriend Jorge Torres, who is also 42, were enjoying a Sunday evening together at their home. Sarah wanted to have a chill night away from the booze, so arranged for them to do some arts and crafts in their garden and do a puzzle. But they did end up finishing a bottle of wine together. They listened to a bit of music, looked at some upcoming film trailers, and were generally having a lovely evening. Just like normal couple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They had finished the puzzles and paintings, and George wondered what they should do next. Sarah, like half-jokingly, suggested for them to play hide and seek.
Okay.
They'd played this a couple of times before. George nudged Sarah like that and said, "Tag, you're it."
Okay.
And the game began.
Sounds like a bit of fun.
Yeah, if that's what you're into. An innocent game of hide and seek turned into a horrific turn of events that weren't expected. Or were they?
Oh, right, okay. Well, all the fun's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of said that just before.
Yeah. I have a knack I have a knack of doing that.
Yeah, you do.
Makes.
But hey, it's how I'm telling the story, baby.
Yeah, true.
It's Monday the 24th of February 2020, around 1 p.m. 911 receives a phone call from a woman. It was Sarah Boone.
911, what is the location of your emergency? 4748 Brant Court, apartment 3.
4748, what's the street name?
Brant, F-R-A-N-T-T.
And the apartment number?
3.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
After being asked if she needs police or medical, she says, "My boyfriend is dead."
Okay.
She is then immediately transferred over to an officer. They go through the formalities of her address, and she is then asked, "Okay, so tell me what's been going on there."
All right, great. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in a suitcase and we were playing. And
Okay.
like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right, okay, what's your apartment number?
3.
Apartment 3?
Yes, like he has like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know, like he had like an aneurysm or what happened.
Right, okay, all right, okay. Listen, we're getting help out there, Chief. All right, okay. Okay,
And now?
okay, 40, yeah, man, listen, we're on our way out there. You're at 407-716-8684.
She replies, "So me and my boyfriend were playing, and I put him in a suitcase, and we were playing like a hide and seek kind of thing."
Sorry, she put him in a suitcase.
Yes.
Okay, right. Bloody hell.
Yeah. "I fell asleep, and he was dead in the suitcase. I don't know what happened. He has like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know if he had like an aneurysm or something. He's purple. You're on your way?" I pulled him out of the suitcase and started giving him CPR. She repeats, "He's still and purple." The officer asks her to start CPR again until help gets there. So we're just throwing you right in there
Yeah, blimey. Yeah.
with the information. There's no build up here.
No.
So we have body cam footage of an officer arriving at the crime scene and the interaction she has whilst being there. A female officer arrives at Sarah Boone's home not long after the phone call to 911. Paramedics are already there. Boone is waiting outside. I'm assuming she has been told to do that because the paramedics need to go in there and assess the body.
Yeah.
And obviously it's now a crime scene.
Yeah, yeah.
The officer approaches Boone and she seems quite calm, but maybe a little nervous, skittish kind of vibes. Boone's ex-husband is also there waiting outside.
Her ex-husband?
Ex-husband.
Right, okay. I suppose that's not too weird, is it?
No.
Turn up for support.
Unfortunately, I don't know the officer's name, so we'll just have to call her like the officer.
Okay.
So just like apologies, but it's never given to me in the footage. Okay, so we're going to start looking at the footage now so we can discuss what we think.
I've already made some notes.
I did see you scribbling.
Yeah. Scribbling. I think I should probably make notes usually.
Yeah, well that is
Just
what,
it just lets me. It just keeps my mind up to date with what you're talking about.
What, do you wander off when I'm talking? What's that supposed to mean?
No. Sometimes
that's
maybe.
fine.
I don't know.
With my riveting storytelling?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just quite a lot of information that I'm not relaying as well, so it might just get... Also, sometimes it's not easy to hear what's being said. So in some of it, I will kind of repeat what is going on, just in case it's not audibly obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right way of putting it, but... Okay, right, I'll show you the...
What's going on?
I
I just got here, so fill me in.
No problem. Like, he and I were putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
You are putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take the stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay.
So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase, okay?
Who is this guy?
That's my ex-husband, my former husband.
How did he live here with you guys?
No, I called him over here.
Okay, okay,
I didn't know what to do.
okay,
I didn't know what to do.
okay.
So then he came over here.
Here, let's talk in private, okay?
I called you guys.
I tried giving him CPR. The problem is I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
When did you do CPR?
This morning when I found him.
Before you called?
Yes!
It's 1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. And that's when I found him, and I took him out, and I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Didn't do the claps.
I find it a bit strange that they're 42 and playing hide and seek. Putting a puzzle together, fine. Bit bored on a whatever night, or if that's just fun for you.
It's a Sunday night.
Sunday night, that's fun for you, fine. Whatever. Watching a bit of TV, that sounds nice. Having a bottle of wine, that's not going to get you wasted, is it?
No.
Or well, you wouldn't have thought.
You're sharing one, though.
Especially if you're sharing it, yeah. So yeah, I just find them playing hide and seek a bit of a strange thing to be doing, but it's not completely alien. It's just seems a bit weird.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, that's fine. It's just because I've written out my stuff when we watched both videos.
Okay, sure.
So I can't comment too
No,
much.
okay.
Because I don't want to then say something and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So you were playing and who zipped him up in
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or had an aneurysm or a heart attack or what.
What kind of medical conditions does he have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
you
that I
didn't take
know
any
of.
medicine
No.
last night?
No.
No medicine.
All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Doing puzzle artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that happened.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had a heart attack or what in there. I don't know what happened.
So how long were you doing CPR on him prior to you calling 911? You tried that all morning?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I called him while I was
What
doing
time
CPR.
did you start? Probably, give me a rough ballpark. Here, let me fill this deputy in, okay?
Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am
Hold on,
so
one
cotton
second,
mouth
one
right
second.
now.
Desperate for a Dr. Pepper.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on that, honestly. It's swimming.
I need my Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. So the officer engages Boone and asks for her version of things.
Mm-hmm.
She goes through them and to begin with, kind of like what you were saying, it's like, okay, puzzles and wine, yeah, that sounds normal. Okay, they played hide and seek, bit weird, but they had something to drink. Maybe they were just kind of being a bit silly.
Yeah,
sure. You can kind of just be in a kind of silly mood. I don't know.
I can see that. I can foresee a day when we're really bored, sat in front of the TV, and just like, let's just play some hide and seek. That'd be fun, won't it? I can see that happening.
And then it's like, okay, then he got into a suitcase. Right, that's like for a laugh. I've tried to fit into a suitcase before as like a teenager.
Yeah, sure.
Not as a 42-year-old
No.
person. I'm not 42, but as like an adult.
Yeah.
And then it's like she just fell asleep.
Yeah.
What? And just left him in the suitcase.
Well, I would assume.
Okay, you've lost me there.
I would assume she didn't know he was in a suitcase when she fell asleep because she was trying to find him, right? Because he was hiding. I find that a bit weird though. That a 42-year-old man has decided instead of hiding behind the curtain, or in a cupboard, he's decided to
I think
squeeze
this is
himself into
throughout
a
the
suitcase.
game. I think this is like the third round of the game or something.
Okay.
It's not like
It's not
the first
time
place.
You've done it. Right, sure.
No. I think this is like a
Okay.
few rounds in or something.
Maybe a few rounds in, you say, "I'm going to go all in this time and hide in the suitcase." But
yeah.
I don't know. It smells a little funky to me.
It's weird from the start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you saw, she was starting to get like a little animated.
Yeah.
She's very like expressive, isn't she? And her tone of voice is like just a bit like harsh almost. It seems very like almost like she's annoyed at like the
Yeah.
officer, like asking questions. But I guess like
I can.
but I think that's a stress. Like she's stressed.
Yeah.
I think but it's coming across like she's annoyed.
Sure.
But I think like in that kind of situation, like I don't know how I would be talking to somebody.
No, sure. I can understand how someone would become frustrated, especially if they've told a story 2 or 3 times that is traumatic to them. You're not going to want to have to go over it 3 times, 4 times.
Well, this is only the second time.
Okay. But, either way, you know what I'm saying, yeah.
And she's mentioned the aneurysm, kind of heart attack thing a couple of times now. So that's obviously something that he can be tested for. So like at the post-mortem, that will be known, like what the cause was.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was in a suitcase all night.
I mean, he got in there.
I mean, we obviously don't know what time this all happened, do we? But obviously it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon the following day.
Right.
So if they went to bed, if it was from like midnight, that's over 12 hours.
Yeah. I mean, he got in the suitcase, so you'd think he'd be able to get himself out of it, unless something. Yeah. Unless he had difficulties.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
A heart attack or an aneurysm. Fair enough. Okay.
But she keeps repeating like the same information, like the puzzles, the wine, the hide and seek, the suitcase. Like I don't know what happened, the aneurysm thing. It's seems like I don't know. She's sticking to her story a lot, which isn't a bad thing.
No.
Let's
see if she can tell the same story in 10 months' time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's the real tell of it, isn't it? If she's lying or not.
So, similarly to the 911 call, but we can like visually see now that she hasn't got kind of a lot of emotion going on.
No.
Like we were saying, she definitely seems stressed.
Yeah.
But, because she's not sure kind of what's going on. You can, like, we're not blaming her for that, like, but I don't know, there's like, almost like I would just think she would just be a bit more emotional, I guess, about the situation. But she just seems a bit like dead behind the eyes. I don't know if that's a bit like harsh to say.
I don't know. I think it's people. When something traumatic like that happens, I think people don't always. I don't think they always react the way that you would expect them to.
It's true. Like you shouldn't like. People say you shouldn't always judge like 911 calls as well, because people just don't always. In stressful situations, everyone acts different. Some people are a lot calmer in stressful situations, even in situations where it's literally like a murder's just happened. Somehow people can still be calm in that, whereas other people are just like really over the top hysterical.
Yeah.
So I imagine, I just wanted to point it out here, like she just seems a bit off.
Yeah.
I get the vibe that she's off.
I wouldn't deny that, but I wouldn't necessarily put too much like to it right now.
No.
No.
The officer then moves on to speak to the ex-husband, who is waiting by his car. His name is Brian, and he explains on his side of things what happened that day.
You've been following your ex-wife or current wife?
Yes.
Okay.
No, ex-wife. We've been divorced about a year and a half. About 11:30 is when I started calling to find out, because this is supposed to be her day. Her child.
Okay.
She's generally not very good about always doing it. She tends to drink.
They called back and said she was still there, or she came back.
So I was calling to find out if she was going to be getting him or not today.
From school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I started calling like 11:30, called every half hour or so, and then
She was back inside the lobby.
finally got a hold of her at 12:49, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here. So I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then basically she said she needed to go outside, have a drink and a cigarette. I walked back out the house because I didn't really want to
Who
be
called?
in there.
Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called me back when I was on my way to make sure I was coming over. But I called her
Give me
initially.
1 second, okay?
But I called her initially.
Do you have water in your car, by any chance?
I don't think so.
Nothing?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay, so she called. You get over here.
Well, I called her first.
Okay.
Trying to find out if she's going to pick up Lucas. That's when she told me everything was going on. I got my stuff together, put the puppy up in his crate. When I was starting to drive over here is when she called me to make sure I was coming, and then I got over here right after
Did you
that.
go inside and see, and then?
I walked inside the front. I didn't see the little front tile area.
Come on, step this way.
I saw legs. I didn't really want to be in there around it, so I told her.
Well, just for the sake of the crime scene, I want to know if I were to find your footprint, it would be because you went this far into the house. So did you actually make past the threshold?
I don't think I ever made it to the carpet. I think it was just in that. I've been over here before.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I don't think I stepped past that tile area.
Okay. So
I don't think I touched doorknob. I don't think I touched anything in the kitchen. I don't know if that really matters.
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of what you have. Well, sit tight for us. We're going to make a few phone calls, and then we'll go from there. Do you know if he has any medical issues, or?
I don't.
Okay, but you've met him before?
I've met him before, yes.
Okay.
Yes, they've got a whole fun history.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you guys have called over here quite a few times.
For the two of them?
Yeah, he's been arrested, I think, 5 times for violence against her, so.
Really? Okay, I'm not familiar with, I haven't been here personally. So they have
he's currently on parole because of it, so.
Because of domestic violence with her?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, from last time he got, whatever it's called, like retrial something or other. He had to go to a domestic violence class.
Okay. I
know he was doing it at a parole officer, stuff like that. But I mean, like, every time she'd have him arrested, the next day she was trying to get him bailed out of jail. So I don't know what it is.
Oh, she's getting water from the tap. Probably.
Okay. So I know it was quite hard to hear on that one.
So at point,
there was a lot of noise.
Yeah. Did he say something about the current chap being aggressive? So
it's that he's been arrested 5 times for domestic violence.
Right.
And he's currently
on parole. Yeah.
For incident of domestic violence with Sarah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and obviously, it sounded like he also said that she, once he goes into prison or into custody, the next day she's trying to get him out again, kind of thing. Yeah. Which isn't uncommon, is it, in domestic abuse?
No, that's exactly what I put as well. That is a very, very common thing to happen. You know, 'cause there is like a love there, even if there is violence also involved. You know.
Well, it could be more controlling,
fear,
which is misconstrued as that you have other feelings for the person or something.
That's it. I mean, I don't know. If anyone can say, can you love someone and also fear them?
I'm sure you can.
I bet there's a kind of weird, grey, blurry kind of mix of it that you probably can. You know, and you might think it's normal as well. I think we don't know her history. I mean, obviously, Brian is her ex-husband. He seems like a lovely guy. From this video, he just seems like a very sweet man. But obviously,
generally, I mean,
you can never tell from just one little video.
No, of course not. I mean, again, calling on from one little clip, he seemed very chilled. He was chuckling about some of the stuff there and all that kind of stuff.
I think that was a bit of a nervous chuckle.
Probably, it's nothing to read into, to be honest.
But I don't know if you heard, but kind of almost immediately into their conversation, he mentioned Sarah having a drinking problem.
Oh, right. No, I didn't hear that.
No. So it was near the beginning. So could something have happened? But she drank too much, and obviously then an incident has happened.
Right.
A domestic fight could have broken out, and maybe, I don't know, just went too far or something.
Yeah, sure.
But he speaks of her quite respectfully, but clearly they have had some issues. I don't know if you could hear, but they had some issues with like childcare. With us, they share a son called Lucas, who was saying at the beginning how she's not always great at picking him up from school, so that's why he was calling her.
Okay.
To double check that she was going to go pick him up from school, because she's not like the most reliable, basically.
Yeah, sure.
So that's why he was calling her, and she wasn't picking up.
Right.
And then she did eventually answer the phone after I think 3 or 4 tries.
Am I understanding right that it was after he got hold of her at like 12:49 or like, you know, that time, and then they called the police?
Yeah, so basically Brian called Sarah, and then they spoke. Sarah explained what had happened, asked him to come round. He came round. After he got there, Brian was like, you need to call 911. And then she did.
Right. Okay.
And then she got there 1-ish. The police officer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he gives an insight into Sarah and George's relationship with the domestic abuse. They've both been in trouble with it, but George more than her.
Right.
He's currently on parole for domestic violence, and she keeps bailing him out even though he is violent. Like I was saying, that is a almost normal thing to do when you are in an abusive relationship. But it sounds like a pretty unstable home, especially if there's booze and domestic abuse going on. Brian kind of sounded a bit fed up with their situation. I imagine he has to deal with it fairly often, considering they share a child together.
Yeah, of course.
Police officer goes back to Sarah. The officer starts digging deeper for the details.
10-10-7-7. So, you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine.
Putting puzzles together, doing artwork.
Doing puzzles, artwork. Okay.
Had a bottle of wine and then decided to play hide and seek. So he gets,
what time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like, what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least, and I fell asleep.
Okay.
Forgetting that he was in the
suitcase. So you guys were
suitcase.
playing the hide and go seek?
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right where it is.
In it? Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little
joke? It was. We both were laughing about it. Okay. And then I fell asleep.
Where did you fall asleep at?
Upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back downstairs?
This morning? Or this afternoon, yes, when I got up.
Ballpark, what time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase. He can tell you there's a lot of things that we have been going through. Jobs.
Yeah, he did tell me.
Life, all that good stuff. So I just totally forgot.
So you began to do CPR on him?
Yes. Yes.
About what time this morning did you start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon because I was awake, but then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is, and I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase, and he wasn't moving, nothing was happening, so I unzipped it, took him out and started doing CPR on him. He was on his way over here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out, and he was gurgling, but I could just tell by looking at him.
But you knew how to do CPR? You were doing that on your own?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him doing it.
And he's got no medical? He doesn't take any medication?
I don't know. I don't know medical-wise. I know he doesn't take any medications whatsoever.
Okay.
The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol had something to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine.
Okay. All right. Here's, I want you to sit back down because I don't want
Can I have one more sip of water, please?
Yeah, go.
That Brazil 29 residential auto.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting that she's mentioned that she zipped him in to the suitcase, basically.
Yeah.
So it's not really hide and seek anymore. It was like a weird bit of suitcase fun.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that straight away from the first video, because I didn't clock that
right
for a really long time, that they were supposed to be playing hide and seek.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, the rules of hide and seek are, like, someone goes to hide, someone covers their eyes and counts.
Yeah.
So they don't know.
I think we all know how hide and seek works.
No, but then I'm showing the contrast
of course.
You ruined it.
I'm sorry, go on.
And then the other person is counting, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Sarah's version is that they find a suitcase, put him in it, zip him up, and then forget about him and go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's like her version of hide and seek.
Yeah.
I just did not clock that for the longest time. That makes absolutely no sense.
No, the only way that's them having a fun time or whatever is if they had sort of stopped playing hide and seek and they were like, oh look, I used to be able to squeeze myself into a suitcase.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Let's try it. Can you do it now? You're 40. All right, let's give it a go. That's the only scenario in which I could see that happening.
Yeah. Which would have made more sense
normalised way.
Yeah, if that's how she told the story, it would have been kind of like, that's really weird, but okay.
Yeah,
it's
seems
more plausible than playing hide and seek.
Yeah, I'd sort of say so.
And then getting into a suitcase that you both were aware of. That's not even the game of hide and seek. Because obviously you were saying, did he zip himself up in there? Like, I don't even think that's possible in a suitcase.
No.
Not easily. Like,
no, God, no.
It'd be very intricate. You know, you'd have to get in it and, you know, stuff like that. So that's explained that for you then.
Yeah.
She was fully aware of, you know, she was part of him getting into the suitcase.
Yeah. And then the only other thing she keeps going on about, we only had a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
We only had a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Which I think is a bit strange. I assume they probably had more than a bottle of wine if she's got a history of drinking. But
that's it, exactly what I put.
Yeah. Maybe she does. Maybe she did. Maybe they didn't. But, you know, you would assume.
I was thinking as well, after hearing what Brian said about her drinking problem, and then obviously we were talking about her being a bit nervous and skittish. I don't know if you noticed in the video, her hand was very shaky. Yeah. Whether that's real or not, I don't know. But could it be...
as if she's putting it on?
Yeah.
Right.
Anyone would do that.
Yeah, no.
You know? It just looked very like... Ooh. But then I was thinking, has she got withdrawal from alcohol?
Possibly. Or is it just shock?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If she does have a drinking problem, she's woke up, you know, basically straight away found George, called her ex-husband over, and then this whole thing's kicking off.
Yeah.
I can't imagine at any point she's had
time
any alcohol.
Time for a sip.
You know, so is she shaking because she's withdrawing from alcohol? You know, she needs a drink.
I guess. I don't know.
I just thought maybe.
Yeah. No, I don't know how quickly that would sort of happen. I suppose it wouldn't take long because alcohol doesn't stay in your system, does it, for ages?
No. So
I'd assume you might get withdrawals quite quickly, but I don't know.
I'm not sure.
No.
I don't know how quickly your kind of body starts reacting. If you are like a proper alcoholic, you know, I don't know. But
I'll find out.
But she almost like word for word kind of repeats her story, and almost like even with the same mannerisms, and like, you know, she went all high pitched talking when she was like, "Oh no, like he's in the suitcase." Like, it was like exactly the same thing that she did before. So I'm just kind of like, have you like memorized this? Is this like a little script or something that you're? I don't know.
Like,
that was the kind of vibe out. Yeah, that was kind of.
I didn't pull that out of it, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it just with the exact same mannerisms, it just kind of threw me a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, Sarah also corroborates the problems that they've been having with the domestic violence.
Yeah.
But mentions they've been going through something recently, like with a job or something. So could this have been something that led to an event that then, you know, went sour, turned sour, yeah. The body cam switches to a male officer talking to Sarah. He's consoling her about being nervous and scared, which I think is pretty nice of the guy. She asks for updates on what's going on and to be kept in the loop. He tells her that they're waiting for the detectives to show up.
Okay.
Detectives Chelsea and Scott are the detectives that turn up with like many other officers as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a crime scene.
Yeah.
They start talking with Boone, just confirming what the other officers have told them, going over the story, the puzzles, the wine, the hide and seek, etc. She now says when she woke up, she thought he was quietly on the laptop downstairs before realising what had actually happened. So her story has stayed the same, basically throughout. A little extra there with the laptop thing, but at the end of the day, the rest of it is the same. So the detectives go over to Sarah and they start digging a little deeper with questions.
George, was he diagnosed with any kind of medical history?
Not that I know of. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't take drugs. I mean, we'll have you give him a bottle of wine here and there, but I don't know, like...
That was going to be my next question. So you guys don't normally drink? You just drink once in a while, or...?
Well, I'm going to say, like, okay, I guess normal drinking is, like, we will have, like, a glass of wine or two, like, while we're cooking dinner, sure, over here, and we'll play a board game with him, and all the games are in there. But, I mean, it's not, like...
A couple of beers a day is...
Well, but I don't understand, though, like, for the little bit that we had, like, if that had anything to even do with it. Like, I don't know if he had a heart attack or a stroke or an aneurysm or what happened to him. I don't know.
And were you guys together all day yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Here?
Yes.
Like, neither of you left the apartment yesterday?
I think he drove up to the convenience store to get cigarettes.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can walk there.
Does he have any history of using any drugs? I know he doesn't now, because you said he doesn't, but...
I don't know.
As far as you've ever known him, you've never seen him...
No. I mean, he's from Philadelphia, and he grew up in Philadelphia, and then he went to Massachusetts, and then from Massachusetts he came down here. So I don't really know, like, a whole lot of, like, medical history or anything.
How long have you guys been together?
Almost 4 years, like 3.5 years.
You guys been living here the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. He's never been to the doctor or to the hospital during that time?
He and his brother got into a really bad argument at one point, and he had to have facial reconstruction. But he has been in the hospital from that, and then I talked him into going to see, like, a regular physician so he could get just, like, a regular, like, checkup thing. Yeah. But there were no red flags.
How long ago was that?
The surgery or
the
doctor?
Both.
The surgery, I think, was at this point, what, 2 years maybe? 2.5 years. The checkup was probably a good 2 years too.
Okay.
And the suitcase is still in there?
Yep.
Is it normally stored down there? Or did you guys travel recently?
No, he was going to start putting some of the, what do you call it, donations in there. So that's why.
That's why it's out?
Yes.
Okay. You guys didn't recently travel somewhere or anything like that?
After you zipped them up, did you move the bag around and mess with them at all, or you just zipped it up and walked away laughing?
Both were laughing about it, but I went upstairs and I fell asleep.
Okay. But what position was he in when he went in? Was he sitting on his rear end and his head up, and he just kind of bent over?
Okay, so like this is the suitcase. Like this was his head, and then his knees right here, and his feet were down.
So he was laying on his side.
Yes. Yes.
You just closed the flap and zipped it around.
Yes.
Him. Okay.
I mean, we were playing.
Understandably. Okay.
So he said that I needed to tell you guys about his family. Like, who do I talk to about that?
We're gonna do that once we walk through and see. Yeah, we're
not going anywhere. We're gonna be here for a while.
I'm just telling you, like,
this is gonna be a while.
I'm afraid for my life. I want you to know that. I am afraid for my life. His family have never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil, is what they call me. So they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me. I'll put it that way.
Have you called any of them?
We talked to his daughters yesterday.
No, I mean, like, about this. Does anyone know? Okay.
So
no one's going to know until we will be making that notification. So
they're going to kill me.
Okay, well.
Do they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to kill me. His kids are going to kill me in Philadelphia. They're going to kill me. This was not intentional.
Okay.
And they're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
We're going to do a thorough investigation, and we will definitely make sure that you don't feel scared when we leave
I'm-
here, okay?
And
When we
my
leave.
9-year-old.
Well, he's at school, or he's with your husband.
I know. Well,
ex-husband.
Your husband said that, or your ex-husband said he made arrangements for your 9-year-old to be picked up.
Oh, okay, Mom. Probably. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go inside if that's okay.
Yes, please. But can you guys just keep me posted
Of
so I
course.
know what's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
And don't.
All you have to do is get their attention if you have a question or you need to talk to us. He's standing right there. She'll be right here.
Yeah.
Okay, but will you guys tell me, like, so you're telling me, like, you won't call whoever it is without telling me, right?
No.
I mean, I have all their phone
And
numbers.
we're
if
not
you need
calling.
them.
We're not making phone calls. We're actually going to speak to them in person.
Yeah.
We
That'll
are.
be later
They're
on.
going to. Okay.
It'll
You'll
be
know
later.
prior to us making any
I'm
contact.
not going to be here.
Okay.
They're going to kill me.
Okay.
We'll address all of that,
Yes.
okay, before we leave. Okay?
This was.
Okay? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Just stay seated, okay, Sarah? I know you're panicking, okay? Just relax. We'll come and talk to you.
Do you want my notes?
Yeah, hit me, go for it.
So he's lying on his side, right? So he's not
George,
I,
yeah.
I find it unlike if, according to her information, there he's been zipped up on the suitcase on his side. I would find it strange that he'd have complications like a blood clot or something. Like, you know, if you're hanging upside down for too long, you would die, right?
Is that true?
I believe so. If you were hung by your
Because all the
ankles
blood
upside
goes to
down,
your brain.
eventually, yeah, I'm pretty sure that would kill you.
Well, yeah, it's not an aneurysm, though, that's different.
No, but I think it would present that way a little bit. But yeah, it is different. You're not wrong.
You can have an aneurysm doing anything.
Yes, well, yeah, that it can just happen, can't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a heart attack.
That scares me. Like a brain heart attack.
Yeah, and similarly, yeah, he could have had a heart attack. But I just find it a bit weird.
Because she mentioned it again.
Either
there
of
as well,
those
didn't
things,
she?
yeah. She's really trying to
Like push
give
a
them an
narrative.
idea as to what has happened.
Yeah, she's really
But
pushing for it to. But at the
If
end
you
of the
didn't
day,
know, you might do that.
yeah.
You know?
But at the end of the day, it's something that they can test for.
Yes, very true.
Do you know
Very
what
true.
I mean? So they'll know.
Yeah, if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some point.
I imagine like an aneurysm shows up on a brain scan.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she says she's afraid of her life from her husband's family.
Yeah.
She said she didn't think the kids will believe her as to her sort of the way she's explaining it at the moment. From what I get from that is that the kids don't trust her, and that speaks something to me.
Yeah, that speaks volume. I mean, the fact that, you know, the family call her apparently the blue-eyed white devil, which is very dramatic.
Yeah, I did hear that.
And just, it sounds a bit silly in my opinion, but, you know, the fact that she was like, they've never taken me in, they've never liked me, blah, blah, blah. So, is there some kind of history there? Like, what's gone on?
Sure.
And that, obviously, she's been part of George's life for 4 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Quite a time. Yeah, and I found it weird that she doesn't know that if he's got any medical issues.
That's
for
exactly
4
what
years.
I thought. That's not normal.
No.
Like,
I mean, unless he's close, some people don't tell each other those things. But
what?
it just
After
seems a
being
bit
with someone
strange.
for 4 years?
You'd think.
I'd be like, well, what's wrong with you?
Well, you'd think
I'd be like,
something-
tell me, something must be wrong with you then.
Well, yeah, because something would present, potentially.
Obviously, like, she knows he doesn't take any regular medication,
No.
so she knows nothing in that sense is like ongoing.
No.
You know, unless something is and he doesn't take medication for it. You
True.
know,
Yeah,
it
true.
could be
Of
that.
course, yeah.
But yeah, I literally was like, I know your medical history. You know, and like they live together. Well, I know your medical history is basically nothing.
Yeah, pretty
quite
much.
boring.
Apart from that cyst you popped on my back.
It got infected.
And then it got infected. And then the doctor said, don't let other people pop your cysts.
That's disgusting. But it was so much fun. It was like the Dr. What was it?
Pimple popper or whatever it is.
Dr. Pimple Popper. It was amazing.
Gross.
It was amazing.
And painful. That's about it. I did also write that it sounded like her voice changed a little bit when she starts talking about herself. I feel like the tone of her voice changed slightly, but
In what
again, I could be
sense?
reading into that. Just she was talking. She sounded. I don't know. I felt like she sounded slightly more sort of worried almost when she started talking about herself at the end when she was like, "Keep me posted,
Yes.
keep me informed,"
That's what I
like all
flagged
that
up.
kind of stuff. And I just felt like there was a bit of a difference in tone with her voice.
Her voice started cracking, like she was getting emotional. about asking for an update, and
Yeah.
in my notes I put like basically like I don't get why. I think that's fake for a start, that she was putting on this cracked voice, because why would you be getting emotional about asking for updates?
Yeah, sure.
I think it would, I don't know, maybe like a sympathy thing, like, please make sure you update me. I don't know, it just seemed fake to me.
Yeah, okay.
Because she just goes from cracked voice to not cracked voice, and it's like, are you actually welling up? But obviously we can't tell because
no, it's not.
It's not a good quality. Enough, yeah, so I don't know. I think it's a little bit fake, in my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you flagged up everything kind of that I was going to, apart from the fact that the alcohol was brought up, and contradicting what Brian said earlier. Sarah says that they only drank a glass or two when making dinner normally. That's their kind of normal amount, and that's basically what they had consumed the night before.
Yeah.
So not a lot of alcohol.
No.
So.
But Brian
says that she's got a drinking problem.
Right.
And if anyone's going to know it, it's going to be the ex-husband.
Yes, true. Although he's been out of the picture for a year and a half. They've been divorced for a year and a half, but obviously they've probably been separated for longer. So there's that too.
There was an affair, but I saw no.
True.
I saw no evidence of that.
No,
so.
But yeah, you would think he would know. Doesn't mean that she's cleaned up her act a little bit in later years, but if they're still drinking, you'd think that that's a sign that if she had a problem, she hasn't solved a problem, has she? If they're still having a drink.
Well, that's it, yeah.
Because if people stop, they stop. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if you have...
serious.
Yeah, an addiction.
Yeah.
That's when... I don't know if any addicts can then dabble back into it and be okay with that. I don't think that's possible.
No. So...
Sarah's requested to speak to the detectives who have just been inside the home to see the crime scene. So they're back out again.
Okay.
Know anything though, like why or how?
So we will not know the answer to that because we're not doctors. So what's going to happen is he's going to go to the medical examiner's office and he'll have what's called an autopsy. Yeah. That'll be first thing tomorrow morning. I'll know a lot, hopefully a lot more tomorrow morning as far as him. But I cannot, there's no way I could say how, why.
So just by looking at him, like, why is he purple?
Oh, that's normal when someone passes away. Lividity, you turn.
As soon as the heart stops beating, the blood starts to settle to the lowest points of the body. And then it just becomes very pronounced. So that's just called bleeding. It happens every night.
I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that.
Look around. You have all these deputies here, so while we're here, nothing's going to happen to you. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what you need to do. Whatever you need to do. Okay? And we can talk about that more in length. But, yeah, it's not going to be a surprise.
Real quick, and then,
but, I don't, this was totally, not intentional. That's what I'm scared about, too.
We'll have all the answers. We'll have a lot more answers tomorrow after the medical examiner looks at it. Like she said, what you're seeing here is common. This is us coming out to a scene. Yeah, his age, no real medical history that we know of. For him to have passed away, we come out and we do an investigation. Yeah. We come out and do an investigation. Medical examiner's office will be sending people out. This is what we do. If he was 75 years old and had a history of heart condition, we wouldn't be here.
I just don't know I don't know what it is.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to find out. We're just here to get the answers. The answers that you want, the answers that his family's going to want.
I just really want to see my son. I really need to see my son. Well, I mean, I know I can't go anywhere, but...
No.
Right.
So, do I just, sit out here and wait for you guys?
If you would, yes, please.
Is anybody else having to show up, or everybody's here that needs to be here?
My team's here that needs to be here. The medical examiners will show up when we call them, but we're not ready for them yet. So they're going to take him, they're going to take some photos, take him, but that's towards the end of it. And they'll be called well in advance when we're ready for them, but we're not ready for them at this point. So we won't be calling them quite yet. Okay? So like I said, I got to go do some paperwork.
I am.
They're going to chat. listen people, and then we're going to come back and talk to you if you're okay with that.
Yes, please.
So just give us a little bit more time. Like I said, I need to go and do that, and he's going to go do what he needs to do.
But do you guys tell his family, like, today or after
Yes,
tomorrow?
We have to. It's the law.
We have to go and make contact with the family.
Yeah.
They have to be notified.
Once our investigation is pretty much complete here, once we leave here, we will be going to...
But again, you'll know. I'm not going to just go and do it without you knowing. You'll know. We'll talk to you prior to doing anything like that.
But how, I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and, you know, so, but, like, what do you just tell him? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason?
He passed away.
We tell them what we know at that point.
Yeah.
We tell them the truth.
And that we're going to be waiting for the autopsy results, and I will be at the autopsy in the morning, and hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see.
Yeah. We'll give them their number. They can contact them and get it from them.
But yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that
they're gonna think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
What have they
I
said?
told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. Because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them. Even after I've encouraged him numerous times to go over there and see his family. They've never accepted me, and they've always been really unforgiving over here, where they've never accepted me, and everybody in his family has started to kick my ass, so especially his sister. He had to pull her off me one time.
Do you have somewhere safe that you can go tonight?
Both my parents are deceased, my grandparents are deceased, and my aunt and uncle are deceased. I got nobody. I have a brother that's in the Marines, and I've got another one that's in jail.
And the brother that's Marines, is he local?
No. Well, he in Altamont, but I think he's doing whatever Marine thing he's doing. But the only way...
Your phone's inside, correct?
Yes.
Does he have a phone?
No.
He doesn't have a phone?
He used my phone.
He uses your phone?
Yeah, we did it together. So, the only place I could go is over to Brian's house. So, I don't think he'll have a problem with it.
Okay.
So...
Well, like I said, we're not going to leave here. If you do not feel safe, we are not going to leave here with you not feeling safe. Because then we're liable.
And then his ex-wife in Philadelphia...
Well, she's in Philadelphia, but yes.
There's going to be a funeral.
Right. That you're talking like days and weeks.
No,
I'm talking right here, right now. So let me do my investigation. Let me go do this paperwork that I'm talking about, because we can go back and forth about what ifs like all day long.
I know, sorry.
I promise we're not going to leave here for you and you not feel safe. Okay? I promise.
What's going on?
Please. Okay. I don't even know what to tell you.
It's okay. Just take a seat, have some water, give us a few minutes. Let us.
Okay. She seems to want to know everything now.
Yes.
About how he's died and everything.
Yeah. She just keeps
I don't know. Again,
asking, and it's like they give him a chance to go in there. Like,
well, yeah, in a way.
Between the two clips, there's like 2 minutes.
Right. Okay. Mm.
So they literally went inside for 2 minutes.
Yeah, had a look.
Asked them to come out. She was like, "So how did he die?" It's
Right.
like, firstly, they're not trained to know. Obviously, they can unless it's obvious.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like gunshot wound or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You know,
they're
not going to know, and they can't say it because they're you know, it's not professional for them to assume and to then say that to.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Someone that's not part of the force.
At the same time, though, as a sort of like normal civilian, I wouldn't expect everyone to understand the details of how a detective like works, if you know what I mean. So I wouldn't necessarily like. I could imagine some people would think that way and be like, oh well, they've seen the body now and all that kind of jazz.
So they should know.
They might know, or they should know.
Yeah, but 2 minutes.
Yeah, of course. No, any logical situation, you'd think no. Obviously, no.
It's like at least give them 5. But no, like straight away, she was just like, "So tell me." It was like.
And then the only other things I noted was that she said, they said like, "What are you gonna do?" Or like, "We'll give you time or whatever," and she was like, "Run." So
yeah.
Run. which is probably just like a bit of a joke. Or, well, she's scared of this family. She's scared of
You
her
can
family.
tell she is very worried about
Yeah.
the family being told and what they're going to be told.
Yeah.
Very specifically, like, so what are you going to say?
Yeah,
And they're obviously like, well, exactly what's
Just
happened.
what
like,
we know, yeah, exactly.
But she's like, but what?
Yeah, right.
And it's very much because she knows that she's obviously implicated in this.
Yeah, right.
Situation.
Well, they're gonna say he was found in a suitcase, I imagine, to the family, and that's just really obscure, isn't it? That you wouldn't want to hear that. Like,
God, no.
if someone in your family died, and the police had to come around and tell you, you know, you might expect certain things.
It's an obscure way to die, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's not normal.
No. She said out loud that it wasn't intentional. Bit weird.
Yeah.
To say that, but you know, might not be. Again.
I'm just gonna put it out there now. Get used to her saying that.
Oh right.
She says it.
I was going to say, if someone, you know,
lordy,
whoever preaches too much or whatever the saying is. What's the saying?
I don't know what the saying is.
Doth protest too much.
But
she doth protest
Bible.
too much.
Bible talk.
Oh, I don't know. I then wrote Mr. Burns.
What? Why?
Excellent.
What did she say? Excellent.
No, she doesn't say excellent, but she's standing there with her hands like this the whole time, like she's just done something that Mr. Burns has done.
Oh my god! And
again,
she sweeps her hair back as well. She could be Mr. Burnsy.
Yeah, true. And then she keeps just saying, "They're going to think I killed him."
I mean, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
To you know, if you're, I mean, obviously she's not declared a suspect or anything, but like she was the only person there, so she's automatically going to be a suspect.
Yes, she has to be. Yeah.
Yeah, she was there that night when it happened, so that's it. And for the suspect to say they're going to think I killed him, that's a big word to throw out there, because you know, if I'm a suspect, I'm not going to even want to. I want to make sure that they're not thinking that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You don't want to then be the one that actually throws that word into the mix.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You're going to, you know. So I just thought that kind of took me back a little bit. I was just like, oh, she said it. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of my notes. The fact that she brings up the funeral. Like, so there's going to be a funeral. It's just like. What are you even? What is the point of what you're saying right now?
She's rushing through all the scenarios that need to happen in the near future.
Yeah.
Sounds like anyway.
But
the family being told, "Oh, you're going to do it today, or you're going to do that tomorrow," and they're like, "No, we're going to do it today," which is kind of funny, isn't it? Because it's like, "Oh, just hold on. Can you tell me tomorrow?" It's like. Of course not. No,
it's just.
And then
it's just strange behaviour. Like I don't know why. But why is she saying this to the lead detectives on this?
Right.
I
mean, because
when they need to, like, you're wasting their time.
Yeah, of course.
That's the vibe that I got, and they keep trying to go. They're kind of like, okay, love, like.
Yeah, right.
Like, cool. Like
we've
talked about you now, so we actually need to go and do our jobs. And she keeps like. Dragging them back in, and they're like, we need to go.
A little bit, yeah. Obviously, they do need to make sure that she feels safe. I assume that's like standards police practice, and that's.
Well, at the end of the day, they don't want their case to fall through because they haven't treated. Yeah. You know, if she turns out, guilty.
Right.
They don't, or like it goes to trial.
Yeah, sorry, right.
They don't then want it to come out that they mistreated her, because that can like collapse a whole case.
Yeah, sure.
Because then they might not, if they then might have been biased for gaining their evidence and everything. They don't want anything, so they have to be like, you know, nice to everyone. You know, treat everyone. Obviously, you're what is the phrase?
Innocent till proven guilty.
That's it. Innocent till proven guilty. So. You know, that's just how you have to treat everyone, with like the same level of respect.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So yeah, I just felt sorry for them. They were kind of like, okay, yeah, like we've gone through your stuff now, like, you know, can we go? She's like, oh, but the funeral. It's just like,
Yeah, I think
that's literally light years away. This is a murder, or not a murder, but like a criminal like offence has happened.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, this isn't like a normal person that's died, natural causes.
No.
A week later you have a funeral. That's not.
Yeah, I mean they mention in that, you know, if he was 75 and had a history of medical conditions with his heart or whatever.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
He said they wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Completely get that. Completely understandable. Yeah. You know.
That's it. And she briefly mentioned George doesn't have a phone.
Oh right, I didn't hear that.
Did you not clock that? No, which I just think is quite unbelievable. I don't know why he wouldn't have a phone in this day and age, but I don't know whether it's, you know, more for a financial reason. Like, I don't.
No.
Well, I know George works, but she doesn't. But then she's the one with the phone. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit like, well, why doesn't he have a phone? Just thought that was a bit weird.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I don't know if you said this actually. I've forgotten what you said, but she kind of keeps bringing it back to herself.
Yeah,
she's talking about herself a lot.
Yeah.
In a situation that, you know, she's not the one that's died. I don't know. There's just very little talk about George from her, and a lot of kind of like.
Well, she's worried about herself.
I'm scared. I want to see my son. Like, his family are going to kill me. Like, you know, it wasn't intention. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of.
She's worried about herself.
Yeah, she's very much concerned about what's going on with her. You know, I feel like that's. I don't know. I just feel like and her just like asking for updates all the time and stuff like that. I just feel like there's a bit of like a. Don't know, like a narcissistic, controlling vibe going. Don't you think?
Interesting. Yeah, maybe. It's hard to say at this point, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So just to summarise that like first chunk, then video. So. You know, she's sticking to the same story.
Yeah.
Throughout, so that can make it convincing that, in a sense, that that's what happened.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't kind of think too much about it, it's kind of like, okay, it's weird because it's a suitcase. What the fuck? But like, okay, right, that happened. You know, she didn't mean to. Okay, fine, I guess. But like, I've watched this video so many times now. And as you start watching, you just pick up. I mean, you picked up on things that I didn't pick up, and I've watched it like 1,000 times. But
detective fact.
You just start noticing her story not changing, but you just notice these like little mannerisms, and you're just noticing these little snippets of things that are said. And obviously, we've got that contradiction between like her ex and her about the drinking, which. You know, is a big deal. Have you got an alcohol problem or not? Because that's major. Because obviously alcohol can change your behaviour, especially if it is an addiction. Yeah. Addiction is serious. I don't know if you clocked as well, in the 911 call, she said, so me and my boyfriend were playing and I put him in the suitcase.
Oh, okay. So
that's how she worded it.
Oh, right, okay.
In the 911 call. But then every time afterwards, she said, like, he got in the suitcase, but I zipped him up, sort of thing. So I don't know if that means anything, but I think that's a very interesting wording for the first. It's obviously the first time she's kind of saying it to an authoritative situation, where it's like, I put him in. I was like, okay.
It could be like a bit of a sort of Freudian slip type thing, but.
Possibly. But I just wanted to make sure that was said.
Okay. Thanks for watching. That's end of part 1. Look out for part 2 in the next few days.